2. The power of apologies. A patchwork quilt. There once lived an old woman who spent her days creating beautiful patchwork quilts. 2. The power of apologies. A patchwork quilt. There once lived an old woman who spent her days creating beautiful patchwork quilts. She would take scraps of fabric, each telling a story of its own, and stitch them together into one cohesive blanket. One day her granddaughter asked, "Why do you use old mismatched fabrics?" The old woman smiled and said, "These pieces may seem different, but they're all connected. Just like this quilt, our lives are made up of moments, some good, some bad. We can't change the past, but we can stitch our apologies together to create a stronger, more beautiful future. Each apology is a stitch, bringing us closer." Her granddaughter pondered this as she hugged the warm quilt. It's like the old woman. She realized that acknowledging and apologizing for mistakes could turn life's patches of pain into a blanket of understanding and forgiveness. Today, let's talk about the second step in the process of moving on after experiencing something traumatic, which is apologizing. And no, I am not saying that you should apologize to the person you experienced trauma from. What I am saying is that you must understand when someone apologizes to you. The first step was to forgive yourself. You cannot move on if you keep on blaming yourself. If somebody has done something to you, chances are they also feel guilty about it, even if they don't show it. So even if they try to justify their behavior, deep down they feel bad. And then when they sincerely apologize to you, you have to accept it. Don't let your ego, your pride, your anger, or anything else stand between you and your peace. Accept their apology. Move on. If you continue to hold on to your anger, if you continue to hold on to your hurt, if you continue to blame them, you are only hurting yourself. Because what you're redoing is refusing the gift of apology that they've given you. They've acknowledged what they've done wrong. They've admitted it. They feel sorry about it, and they want to make things right. Why are you not accepting that gift? Think about it. Who wouldn't want to accept a gift, especially one that's offered so that you can move on with your life? But why is apologizing so difficult? When people apologize, it's usually not very sincere. That's why we find it hard to accept their apologies. "I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I'm so sorry." It's just a bunch of words. And those words, even though they are an apology, still don't mean anything if they're not sincere. I know that for a fact, because I used to work at a place where everybody was apologizing all the time. They were saying sorry nonstop, but nobody meant it. So we sort of got immune to hearing apologies there. And then there was this one time when this lady called me and she needed my help. I was busy. I told her I couldn't help her. I told her I didn't have enough time. I told her I was swamped. And then she started crying and she said, "I'm sorry." I thought, here we go again. Another sorry, another fake apology. But then she continued and she said, "I'm sorry. Did not mean to call you at this time. I will not disturb you anymore." She didn't say it like that. She said, "I'm sorry. I did not mean to call you at this time. I will not disturb you anymore." Now you think that's a small thing. But when you work at that place, you learn to appreciate the smallest things, especially when people acknowledge their mistakes and apologize for them. So I told her it's all right. Please don't cry. I am available tomorrow morning. Please come in tomorrow morning and I will help you then. So yeah, always accept an apology when someone offers you one, because we all make mistakes. I know we all make mistakes. We are all human. Nobody's perfect. So when someone apologizes to you, please accept that apology and let it go. We cannot undo the past. We cannot undo what's already happened, but we can choose to move forward. We can choose to stop living in the past. We can choose to stop dwelling in the past, and we can choose to live in the present. Let's look at our second story. Stained glass. A new perspective. A young girl gazed up at the majestic stained glass window in the old church. Its colors danced before her eyes, yet she saw only a dark, menacing figure. Confused, she turned to her grandmother, a regular at the church. "What does this window mean?" The grandmother smiled knowingly. "Ah, that's the window of forgiveness. Do you see the dark figure?" "Yes." "Well, that's the part we struggle with. The hurt, the anger, the pain. But look around it." The girl noticed the bright, vibrant colors surrounding the dark figure. "Those are the beautiful moments in life," her grandmother explained. "Even with pain, we must see the beauty around us. Forgiving doesn't mean forgetting. It means finding the strength to move on. The light shines brightest after passing through the darkest glass. The girl pondered these words as she walked out into the sunshine, realizing that even in the darkest moments, forgiveness could pave the way for healing. Forgiveness is indeed a very difficult thing to do, but it is possible. When you start trying to forgive, when you start trying to practice forgiveness, it becomes easy. Everything becomes easy. Your life becomes easy. It's just that we don't want to forgive. We don't want to let go of that pain, of that hurt. We don't want to let go of that anger. We cling on to those negative emotions, and we wonder why our lives are so messed up. Well, it's because we have refused to forgive. We have refused to let go. And guess what? By letting go, I do not mean condoning what happened to you. I do not mean agreeing that what happened to you was right. No, I don't mean any of those things. All I'm saying is that you should not let that pain consume you. You should not let that hurt define you. Now, in the same way that you need to learn how to forgive, you also need to learn how to apologize. The first step to apologizing is to admit that you've done something wrong. This is the hardest part. Usually people never admit it. They won't say, "Yeah, I did that." They will always find a reason, an excuse as to why what they did was right. They will always find a way to justify their actions. This is why most relationships fail, because neither person wants to admit that they're wrong. Both of them think they are right. Both of them think they are justified. Now, being right does not get you anywhere. Being right does not solve problems. Being right doesn't bring happiness. Being right doesn't bring success. In fact, being right is toxic. I'm talking about being right when you know that you're wrong. When you know that you're wrong, don't try to justify your actions. Don't try to make excuses. Yes, sometimes people do things out of desperation. Sometimes people do things because they don't know any better. Sometimes people do things because they've been taught to do those things. But if you know that what you're doing is wrong, if you know that what you've done is wrong, if you know that what you've said is wrong, admit it. Admit that you're wrong. Say, "Yeah, I did this. Yeah, I said that. And I'm sorry about it. I apologize." If you think that apologizing is the end of it all, well, you are wrong. You also need to make amends. You also need to fix things. You also need to fix the mess that you've created. If you know that you've hurt someone, don't just apologize. Try to fix things. Try to make it right. Try to make it better. And yes, it's important to understand that sometimes there is nothing you can do to fix things. Sometimes it's simply beyond repair. So you apologize, you make amends, and then you hope that the other person accepts your apology, that they forgive you. We all make mistakes. We all hurt people unintentionally. And it's only natural that we should apologize for our mistakes. It's only natural that we should ask for forgiveness. So today, if you have hurt someone, make amends. If you have wronged someone, apologize. If you have said something that was hurtful, say sorry. Say it sincerely. Don't let your ego come in the way. Don't let your pride come in the way. Because by refusing to apologize, all you're doing is hurting yourself. You're causing yourself more pain. Because when you don't apologize, you are refusing to let go of that pain. You are refusing to let go of that hurt. You are refusing to set yourself free. Thanks for watching.